All right, good morning, Algebra 1. Hope everybody's enjoying their e-learning day and sleeping in just a little bit at least. Today we're looking at Chapter 7, Day 2, 7.2, which is monomial times polynomial. Excuse me. I also slept in a little bit, so I just woke up. So, we're talking about multiplication. So, what we have to remember is the product rule. So to multiply a monomial, which is one term, times a polynomial, simply distribute. So we've distributed a lot before, the monomial to the polynomial. For exponents, recall the product rule. So let's remember when you have the product rule, like a to the, x to the a times x to the b, we multiply and get x to the a plus b. So we add the exponents. So a good example of that could be like 3x squared times 4x cubed. You multiply the numbers, so 3 times 4 is still just 12, and then add the exponents, so x to the 2 plus 3, which is 5. That's the product rule. So when you're multiplying, you got to remember, multiply the numbers, add the exponents. So let's do a couple examples here. So here's x times x plus 4. So I'm multiplying this through. Okay, so a couple things I need to remember is that there's really a 1 here, and there's also a 1 as the exponent for anything x that doesn't have 1. So x times x is really 1 plus 1 is 2. So x times x is x squared. And then x times 4 is really 1 times 4 is 4. And then x times nothing, which stays as x. And that would be my final answer. That's all there is to it. So same thing over here. We've got 5m to the third times all of this. So 5 times 3 is 15. M to the 3 plus 2 is 5. M to the 5. And then we do the second one. So 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. And then 3 plus 1, since there's an m to the first power, is m to the fourth. And then finally, 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. No m's to add to it, so it just stays as m to the third. Okay? And there we go. Already in standard form most of the time, so we are good to go there. All right, so let's go through some examples together, and then I'll just give you a few problems to work on your own. So let's just go down the line here. So number 1, k times k minus 9. So it says writing in standard form, so make sure your answer is in standard form at the end. So k times k is k squared. K times negative 9 is negative 9. So that's 1 times negative 9, and k. And there we go. No like terms. Okay, let's do this one. Negative 6 times 1 is negative 6. And then p to the 1 plus 4 is 5. And then look at your signs here. Negative 6 times negative 8 is positive. Use your calculator if you need to. 48. And then p to the first power. So just p. There's my final answer again. So these can be pretty quick problems. Just you got to really pay attention to your signs and your exponents. Okay, so let's look at number 5. I've got negative 4 on the outside. So negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And then g to the 2 plus 1 is 3. Then we do the second one. Negative 4 times 7 is negative 28. And then g squared stays as g squared. And there we go. All right, let's keep going. Negative 3n times all those. So negative 3 times n squared. So negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Then n to the 1 plus 2 is 3. Negative times negative for the second one is positive 6. And then n to the 1 plus 1 is 2. Negative 3 times 8 is negative 24. And then n stays the same. There we go. So let's look at number 9. Excuse me. Number 9 and 11 both have multiple variables. So this can be a little confusing, especially when it's P and Q and those kind of look the same a little bit. But when you're doing this, you're still just distributing and you're only adding the ones that have the same variable. So like for instance, this is still a 1, so it's still 1 in front. And then P to the 2 plus 5 is 7. So P to the 7th. And then Q to the 3 plus 2 is 5. So Q to the 5th. So that's the first one. And then you do the second one. 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And then P to the 2 plus 1 is 3. And then Q to the 3 plus 1 is 4. So Q to the 4. And it's still in standard form, so we're good. Okay? So you do it one term at a time. So that's the exact same thing we're doing here. So I've got all of these to go ahead and multiply. So 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And then pay attention to your variables. R to the 2 plus 2 is 4. And then s squared doesn't change because there was no s here. Okay? So 5 times 3 is 15. R to the 2 plus 1. So that's R to the 3rd. And then 2 to the 2 plus 1 as well, which is s to the 3rd. There we go. Then we do the last one. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. R squared doesn't have an R here, so it just stays as R squared. And then we have s to the 2 plus 2 is 4. So s to the 4th. And there we are. Okay. And so I'm going to do this one last one, and then we'll look at some where we have to combine like terms after multiplying. So negative 7 times 9 is negative 63. And then we have c to the 3 plus 2 is 5. And then d to the 2 plus 2 is 4. Do the same thing. Negative times negative for the second one is positive 28. 3 plus 1 is c to the 4th. 2 plus 5 is d to the 7th. Okay. And there we are. So let's look at these other ones. It says to simplify these, we want to distribute, then simplify the remaining expression. So final answer should be in standard form. So we might have to do a little combining like terms at the end. So just like any other problem, we want to make sure we get rid of parentheses first, then everything else. So in this case, I've got to get rid of the parentheses by distributing. So negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. X times x is x squared. Negative times negative is positive 8x. And then plus 7x was still there. And now we look for like terms. Well, I've got x squared. That doesn't have any like terms. And then I've got these two that are like terms. So plus 8 plus 7 is 15x. Remember, when you combine like terms, you only combine the coefficients, the exponent and the variable stay the same. And there we go. Okay, so let's go to the back side and go through some of these, and then we'll be about done. So in this case, I've got two parentheses to take care of. So let's do this. Y times y is y squared. Y times 4 is 4y. Done with that one. Let's do this one. Now, this is not just y, this is negative y. So negative 1 times 1 is negative y squared. Negative times negative is positive 3y. And then we have 9y at the end. So now we look for like terms. Look for your highest exponent first. So I've got y squared here and here. Those actually cancel, so I'm not going to write anything down there. Then I combine these together. All three of these are like terms. So 4 plus 3 is 7. And then what's 7 minus 9? Negative 2y. And there's nothing else left. So we kind of run into the same thing for number 19. Got one parentheses this time. So there's that. 2 times 6 is 12. xy. So y times x or x times y, I always put the x first because it's alphabetical. And then 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. X squared. And y times y is y squared. Again, I write the x first. Everything else stays the same. So 13x squared y squared minus 6. So now let's look for like terms. Well, look for the biggest exponent first. We've got x squared y squared. Those are like terms. So negative 8 plus 13 is 5x squared y squared. This one doesn't have any like terms, so that just stays as 12xy. And then this one, same thing. Stays the same. And there we go. So, you're not going to have to do any of these real long ones, but let's just do one, and then I'll give you a few to try on your own. So in this case, I've got 3 parentheses to take care of. In fact, yeah, let's do this. So we've got, change colors so let's see the difference. Okay, so the first one, 3 times 7 is 21. V times V is V squared. And then we go 3 times negative 2. Excuse me. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6V. And then we go to the next one. So 3 times all 3 of these. 3 times V squared is 3V squared. 3 times 2 is 6V. And then 3 times 1 is 3. All right. And then the last one, again, remember this is a negative 3 times both of these. So negative times negative is positive 15V squared. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9V. So lots of stuff to take care of here. Let's find like terms. Okay, so highest exponent I see is V squared. So let's find all the V squareds, put them together. So 21 plus 3 is 24. 24 plus 15, that's 24, that's 39. 39 V squared. 24 plus, yep. And so we go to V now. So negative 6V plus 6V minus 9V. So negative 6V cancels with 6V, and all I have left is negative 9V. And then we look at the constants. Well, there's only one of them, and it's plus 3. So it looked like a lot to do, but as long as you're going one like term at a time, it should be okay. Okay? So go back to the front side, and all I want you to do on your own, or to try on your own, is these 4 problems, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Okay? There will be key online, that you can check your answers. And actually, no, there won't. I'll post a key tomorrow so you can check your answers on that. Okay? Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Email me. Peace.